Green flag is waved. We're about to get our last race of the day underway. And 1 and 2 creepers at the front, but away they go. And it's the talky Aston Martin, as we expect. Very good start, one of the Healey's. Slow start by the number 7, which is Conrad Ulrich in his Maserati. Up they go, Steve Boltby-Brooks, who leads the way. Second is Martin Hunt from the second row. And from the outside, Richard Woolmer in the HWM Cadillac. That looks to be going well in these early stages. Boltby-Brooks tweaking the Aston sideways coming out of the first corner at Madgwick. We see them all working their way through. Pole position car is now down to 5th because Rob Hall has gone past Cottingham, driving Aston Martin DB3, the black car that won the 1952 9 Hours.
Woolmer's blasted through into second out of Madgwick, and Hall's right up to the back of the Boltby-Brooks Aston Martin in the lead.
Second into the first corner is now about 5th.
Yeah, exactly so. And Rob Hall looks the driver on the move in number 17, but out front is Boltby-Brooks, and Woolmer getting closer and closer. But look at the number 17, the black Aston Martin in the background. Bit of a twitchy moment there. Woolmer's going to have a look up the inside, or is he? Not this time around, down into 11, all very tight behind. And Jochen Mass making huge progress in the number 18 Mercedes.
Yes, it's nice and nicely balanced. It's a quick car in a straight line. It's got plenty of torque, which Jochen will use really wisely. Here he comes in the 18 car. Jochen Mass, past master, going really well. But
I think he's the first driver in the field that's got windscreen wipers, and he's using them. The track is drying. In fact, in parts, it's pretty much dry. Get on the wide line, though, it's difficult now. Rob Hall is being pushed very hard there by Martin Hunt, but the 17, that glorious DB3 Aston Martin, stays in 3rd position.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? He's out over the grass on the exit of Woodcote Corner, but he's got it safely back. Woolmer now beginning to threaten Boltby-Brooks, and Woolmer needs to be fairly cautious applying the power because it's quite wet down there still underfoot. Obviously the whole circuit is wet, but there was some standing water. We've got the 2 Cooper Jags running together. Woolmer comes through, then blasts through to lead. The 2 Cooper Jags were pretty much together, which indicates that Derek Hood has made a very good run through. In fact, Derek Hood may have got ahead of Katerina Kivalova. In fact, he has, and he started down in 17th place.
Yeah, so for Kivalova, she's gone from 6th to 12th.
Yeah, exactly, on the grid.
Yeah, 6th on the grid, she's going
6th
backwards.
on the grid, yeah.
But Rob Hall is now starting to close in 3rd position. Look to no recovery drive yet from our pole man, James Cottingham, but certainly a drive coming, working his way forward is Jochen Mass in that Gullwing Mercedes. You can see number 18 hunting down, but the man doing the most hunting is Rob Hall. He's right on the tail of Steve Boltby-Brooks in number 3 Aston Martin. This is a great little scrap, but what it's doing is allowing Richard Woolmer to make good his escape. He's into the dip after St Mary's, while through the second part of the corner, Boltby-Brooks holding on into 2nd place in the Aston Martin, being challenged by another Aston Martin, of course, the DB3, that historic, wonderful car, number 17, and twitching down to 11 goes Rob Hall.
Yes, and you wouldn't have seen a DB3 harassing a DB3S very often in period. So Rob Hall driving very well, as Marcus predicted, already up to 3rd, and can he find a way past Boltby-Brooks before Woolmer gets too far away? I'd have to say Woolmer's driving very well with that Cadillac engine HWM.
I don't think that Tony Wood Gordini necessarily started. It doesn't appear on our screens, I have to say. But here's a car that will come into the race increasingly. I think that the car that's out on pole, the yellow Ferrari, not the quickest thing out of the blocks, but good, well-balanced car over a race distance. Boltby-Brooks, who led over the line from Woolmer, then lost that advantage under acceleration, led by just 0.57. At that point, now completing the 2nd lap.
But what of our pole starter? James Cottingham down in 5th place with no answers. 4 seconds down at the end of the previous lap. This time around with 2 laps on the board, it's probably gone out to about 5 and a bit seconds. Let's have a look. 6.5 seconds, and he's being challenged now very hard by number 11, Fred Wakeman, trying to go around the outside. Jochen Mass fancies a bit of the action in behind. So 28, bright yellow Ferrari that started from pole position, still in 5th place, but you really feel his days in that position are numbered. Huge sideways moments. He tried to give space on the outside to Fred Wakeman. Wakeman took all the space.
All the way around the outside.
Thank you.
Fantastic move from Wakeman to pass the pole sitter. So he's now up to 5th in the C-Type, the highest of the C-Types. And yes, Cottingham struggling at this stage of the race.
Yeah, and Gregor Fiskin in that bright blue Maserati coming into the mix as well. This isn't the battle for the lead of the race. This is the battle for 5th place. But Fiskin up to 8th place now.
Yeah, Gregor Fiskin is raced at Le Mans in modern sports prototypes. Very handy driver, also purveyor of the finest automobiles from central London.
And what you get when the race leader, that's not Steve Boltby-Brooks who's in the lead. He's in 2nd place, being pushed very hard by Rob Hall. But Richard Woolmer, that Cadillac, makes HWM. He's leading the race. It just burbles past. Sounds as though he's on an in-lap to the pits. But he's just set the fastest lap of the race last time round, so he's doing something right.
He's being very cautious to use not very many revs. So you put it in a very high gear, and you just keep it there, because that way it won't bite you.
Rob Hall was sideways all the way through exiting Levant there, and he's actually, it looked fantastic, but he's lost quite a lot of ground to Boltby-Brooks ahead, who can now break for Woodcote with a decent margin, and actually looks a bit closer to me to the leader.
You're correct, I'm sure of that. It was just almost 2.1 seconds last time around on the start-finish line. Yes, it's less than that now. So Boltby-Brooks, the number 3 Aston Martin, closing in on Richard Woolman, leading the race.
But watch for the drag race, guys, because this is where he goes out. Boltby-Brooks bounces down the curb. That didn't help his exit speed. Boltby-Brooks' fastest lap of the race is 1.8 now, 1.797 to be absolutely precise.
So 2.5 seconds covered the top 3 in this race. Rear shot there of Rob Hall holding on down 3rd position, pushing Boltby-Brooks in a very sideways moments from the HWM Cadillac leading the race, but good traction for Rob Hall. Will he get the run as they go down out of Madgwick, down to Fordwater, avoids the lake there that's on the circuit. You have to avoid that huge puddle. Who's got more speed through Fordwater?
Wakeman and Fiskin up ahead of Cottingham now to 5th and 6th.
Yes, and Fiskin also passed Jochen Mass on that lap. And now Rob Hall goes down the inside into St Mary's.
Oh, it's going to be the grass for Boltby-Brooks.
The grass.
Well, big bounce. He's back on the track, but down to 3rd place. Yes, iron as mirror, trying to see where he's going. Another HWM, of course, coming up in 4th place. That is Hunt, and he's being chased down very hard now by Fred Wakeman, sorry, in 5th place.
Good move by Hall inside Boltby-Brooks on the approach to Fordwater.
Well, here's a replay of the moment on the outside line. Boltby-Brooks on the grass. Boltby-Brooks at St Mary's, so up into 2nd place.
Did well to hold on to it, Bruce.
Well, it's a bit of a bumpy old ride. Here's a look from the infield at the angle. Car on tarmac, car on grass, car in 2nd, car back to 3rd.
That was a beautiful camera shot with the 2 contrasting types of Aston going through down there, and Rob Hall in the UPL 4, the 1952 9 Hours winner here at Goodwood, is on the warpath.
64 years old and incredibly sleek, that DB3.
He was 2.4 seconds behind the leader when he came through last time in 3rd place. And we'll see now that he's got a clear road. Oh, that's number 7 in the gravel.
7's off in the gravel. That's Conrad Ulrich with his Maserati.
New fastest lap for Rob Hall, and he's now 1.1 seconds behind the leader. So I think the race is on.
That's a long way off, isn't it, at Lavant?
I think he's almost got to the mess tent.
How on earth did he get there?
I'm looking with telltales on the grass, but well, hey-ho.
Oh, well, he's out of harm's way anyway. And it's Wakeman and Fiskin having a good battle.
Yeah, well, Fiskin's the man gaining places, but how about Rob Hall really hunting down Richard Woolmer? This is the battle for the lead of the race. 1.087 second. No, that's some way further back. It's way under a second. Rob Hall's so twitchy as he looks up the inside. But what we've seen from the start of the race, Richard Woolmer just likes to run the cleanest, smoothest lines he possibly can. First part of St Mary's is conquered. No particular gain from Rob Hall behind, and Steve Boltby-Brooks, he's not finished yet. He'll be coming to the back of that shot in the number 3 Aston Martin. He's trying to rejoin this battle, and Richard Woolmer not leaving any openings at all for Rob Hall. Rob Hall fancying a look down the inside, but he knows it will be diminishing returns. He'll wait to find a better position. They're coming up on that 453, the Jason Yates Ferrari. That keeps out of the way, the 500 TRC. Through goes first, through goes second. So Rob Hall sideways. Oh, what a shot there. And still chasing.
Yeah, Woolman was on opposite lock midway through the corner, and Rob Hall was on opposite lock at the exit. And actually, I think Boltby-Brooks was the quickest of the 3.
Boltby-Brooks has come back at them big time, hasn't he? Woolmer, who's like the surprise in that Edwardian race at the members' meeting, when Woolmer popped his crash helmet off, he's about a third the age you expect. Rob Hall guess it's going to be around 50 now.
And Richard Woolmer came off the curbs there and got sideways again.
And there's yellow flags waving just ahead. That's Rob Hall's hand went up. Safety cars come out. Safety cars come out.
Is that for the car
Conrad
down
Ulrich?
gravel, down at Lavant? We thought that was a long way off the circuit.
It was.
Have we seen anything else off the circuit? Yeah, it is for that. Number 7, the Maserati. Sorry, did I say Ferrari? But that was, of course, Conrad Ulrich, his 300S at Lavant Corner. Shouldn't be a long period for that to be towed. So that doesn't exactly close up first and second. They were this close anyhow. Richard Woolmer in the HWM Cadillac ahead of the DB3, Aston Martin, Rob Hall, and Steve Boltby-Brooks was hauling them in hand over fist after that moment down before St Mary's. Safety car that says the big board, SC, waved yellow flags.
They'll have that out pretty swiftly. I suppose the reason was that if one car could get there, another could. It seems unlikely.
Now, of course, someone who'll gain in all of this, it gives a chance to Gregor Fiskin, who's put on such a good charge in the number 21.
12th he started, and he's up to 5th, isn't he?
Up to 5th, and he will be able to take the restart right on the tail of number 74, which is Martin Hunt, who started the second of the HWMs down from 4th on the grid. There you can see them together, the bright blue Maserati, unusual to see it in that colour. Jochen Mass would want to be in with that mix, but the 453 Ferrari is in between them, and that's a lap down at least. 10-second penalty for who? We don't have it on our screens as yet, but it was shown to someone.
5.
Number 5.
Roberto Crippa from P21. It's going to materially affect
Probably
his
not going to ruin his day, is it? I would have thought.
Well, you know what? I don't think he came around on the parade lap. I couldn't see Crippa. I was about to say something, then he popped up on the timing screen, so there could be some misdemeanor. But the good thing is that number 7 Maserati out of the gravel down at Lavant, and hopefully we'll either get them going this time around. Will the lights go out on the safety car this time or next time? But it's going to be with the extra 5 minutes, we have a 25-minute race, of course, rather than 20, so it's great to be able to end Saturday as that Maserati is pulled clear. No damage to the car, little damage to the pride of Conrad Ulrich, but we're going to have a cracking end to the day here on Saturday.
And just to back up your point, Bruce, about Gregor Fiskin, his fastest lap is in fact quicker than Richard Woolmer's in the lead. Rob Hall was the only person that's got into the 156s, but then Woolmer, Boltby-Brooks and Fiskin have all done low to mid 57s, so he could yet get ahead of Hunt for 4th place.
Yeah, now what of course Gregor Fiskin wants is for Martin Hunt in 74 to get as close as he can to
Lights out on the safety car, boys.
Good news for Marcus, so we'll go racing again. The safety car will be allowed to get clear and we'll pull off, and then of course the driver leading the race, Richard Woolmer, will be able to dictate when to plant the throttle. When he goes, the rest can follow.
This is perhaps a little bit of a nightmare for Rob Hall in 2nd place. He'd have liked to just have attacked Woolmer up front, but for Fiskin, this is a splendid gift.
And don't discount the driver in 6th place, Fred Wakeman, as well. He'll fancy his chances. So it looks like Richard Woolmer is just starting to wind it up. The safety car.
Exit speed from the chicane, absolutely critical to this one, because this will determine how the field gets spaced as they go past the pits. There goes Richard Woolmer.
You want to keep it straight, don't get sideways. That was the clue, and the tail started to come around. He corrected it very quickly indeed, and then now maximum Cadillac attack down the straight.
Yes, he sort of lit the blue touch paper. 1.4 seconds it was. It was 1.0 before, I think it was 0.9, something like that.
Now Martin Hunt has dropped back a little bit in 4th place. That's let Gregor Fiskin right onto his tail in that bright blue Maserati. And James Cossingham's just must be something wrong with his car. He's dropping back down the field. He's down into 9th place, started on pole.
And a car off, and that is
Fred Wakeman.
Is that Wakeman? Wakeman's Jag C-Types gone off, unfortunately. Cold tyres probably to blame.
Well, that's down at Madrid, the first corner. The second part of it by the looks of things. But now Gregor Fiskin attacking, trying to get up to 4th place as they come down the hill from Ford Water towards St Mary, looking up the inside. Looks like the move is done. So number 21.
And you've got to think that if there was a safety car for the Maserati in the gravel at Levant, there'll have to be one for the Jaguar off at Madrid.
You certainly feel that way. But anyhow, still leading the race. In the background, you see Gregor Fiskin now into 4th, chasing off this lead trio, but it's as it was before the safety car. Rob Hall chasing so hard in that number 17 Aston Martin and hanging on the front, as you say, always on opposite lock through the middle part of Lavant. Richard Woolmer, his hands are almost a blur on the steering wheel there, going left, going right, but then you get the long slide that Rob Hall just seems to perfected through the corner, and all along Steve Boltby-Brooks galloping up on them as we look at that battered number 11 C-Type. Oh dearie me.
most of that hopefully will just be sustained by the bonnet. And Jochen Mass is off. He's gone into the place where his sometime teammate Ulrich has been, but just a few feet to the right. So, well, he didn't go as far in as Ulrich, but Jochen Mass now off in sympathy with Konrad Ulrich.
Well, again, Woolmer just manages to hang on from the more flamboyant and smoother attack from Rob Hall. Never afraid to get the tail of 17 out. The number 3 Aston Martin closing in behind Steve Boltby-Brooks. But again, the grunt of the Cadillac down the start-finish straight just ekes out the advantage.
And they put the checkered flag's gone out, and Richard Woolmer is punching the air with delight that they've stopped the race early with cars off in 2 separate places. It only went 7 laps in the end. That was such a shame with just a few minutes to go, because it's denied us the real cream on this race at the end of it. But Richard Woolmer has won the race.
Back.
Well,
how did he miss
the Ferrari?
Miss the Ferrari. That was a heart-in-mouth moment, not just for Richard Marks, but also for Joe Bamford as he saw it getting closer and closer.